let's just answer everything with a yes or no and make it
There you
awkward for what was about
Yes.
to be.
Did
Yes,
you? Yeah, sure.
for the first podcast we did.
Yeah, I
I love
never. I don't know why he didn't air it. He answered all
Right.
the questions.
Hey, Dogs fans, Fool here. Today we have two very special guests. They're friendly foes of ours. Really, they are the super fans of the Gary SouthShore RailCats. We have Kyle Svetich and Chuck Polarek from RailCats Talk podcast. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for
All
having us
right.
on.
Oh, thank you for being here. And so before we talk about your podcast, I want to kind of get into your fandom, actually. When did you become a fan of the Gary South Shore Railcats? Can you tell me like the story behind how you discovered the team? What led to you becoming super fans?
I hate the term super fan. Uh,
Okay.
I had been going to some RailCats games for a while, not very much throughout the season, maybe one game a year, two games a year. Enjoyed myself, but one summer I had the choice between Valparaiso University basketball or buying tickets to the RailCats, and I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and the RailCats for 5 tickets for the season to every game was $100 at the time, I believe,
Wow.
something like that. And I said, well, I can buy one seat at the basketball game for the season for like $500, or I can buy 5 tickets to every game for $100. So let's do that. And then once we got our money's worth in the first 3, 4 games, we were sold on it. So we missed, I think, 2 games that whole season.
Wow.
I think we hit like 73 games total, something like that.
Wow. What year was this? Do you remember?
It would have been like 4 years ago. I rooted against the RailCats.
Oh, what?
Yeah, for
Yes,
quite
this
a
is a
while.
running joke all the time. Is
Yeah.
that he was
Uh,
the anti-Railcat fan?
yes. Loud, obnoxious, rooted
Still,
against and said to myself, "Hey, if your home fans cannot be louder than just me, then you deserve what you're getting." But we went to Kansas City, invited by John West. So when we got out there, I said, "John, I always root for the away team, so I'm gonna have to root for the Railcats." And Nick Garcia stopped me on the one of the walkways there and said, "Hey, you guys came from Gary, huh?" And started talking to us. And after that, talking to him for about an hour, I couldn't root against him after that. So um, that's then we quickly became the loudest fans rooting for the Railcats.
Oh, how cool. How about you, Kyle?
well, your second question was be more about the podcast. So the thing is about my fandom, it's kind of a bit of a reverse. So the
Okay.
podcast kind of came first,
Oh,
and then the fandom came second.
okay.
Uh, Basically, before COVID hit, I went to Illinois Media School, which actually partners with the Chicago Dogs
Right.
on some of their productions that they do. So I was going there and I was getting ready to do sports media. I was working with Region
Wow.
Sports Network, which was like a Facebook group kind of deal that covered all Indiana high school football, basketball, stuff like that.
Hmm.
COVID hit and I had to get on with my life. So I got another job and got married and got a house. And I said, I'm kind of bored. I need something to do. And I said, well, I know we got the RailCats right there, so let me go ahead and I want to start writing, doing podcasts and covering a team. And I'd like to localize. It's hard for me to do an entire league. It's easier for me to just look at one thing, and
Sure.
it intrigued me because one, the American Association, I knew like this much about it. I knew the
Really?
names, and
Wow.
uh, so I just kind of built upon it, and then I was just kind of hook, line, and sinker. It was a great experience going to the games, being so close to the players and seeing how the
Mhm.
players interact with the fans, and it just kind of turned into more of a let's talk about the numbers and what the team's doing, and then it kind of turned into more of the fan portion of it, but it's
Sure.
still kind of with the Chuck and I both the way he proceeds his one way and I do the other way. It kind of clashes to where you can turn it into more of a fan ran podcast. This was
Yeah,
more of a way to help my side hobby
sure.
nonetheless.
Sure. Oh, that's amazing. I had no idea of that at all. That's crazy. Well, that's a good segue because if you guys are ready to talk RailCats talk, I'd like to do that. You guys ready? All right. So, Kyle, your very first episode was aired on April 22nd, 2022. What inspired you to say, I love this team and I got to do a podcast?
Uh, again, I think it was a little bit more selfish reasons on
Okay.
my end was that it's a local baseball professional team and no one's really covering it. And I said, this is something uh, that most people should be aware of
Mhm.
because it's right in our backyard. Yes, you have, both Chicago MLB teams, the Cubs and the White Sox, but for the region itself, we do take pride in being in the region. This is the region's team. And that's what kind of led me to wanting to talk about it more because at the time, the Railcats weren't really posting a lot of things on social media. It was very bone cut dry on some of the stuff that they were doing. And I think it was just starting to evolve to, where I started it in 2022 to where it is now. The Railcats, the team itself, and what they're being able to do is so much different. I think that helps with the ownership change and other things as well. But really, the podcast started because I wanted to follow my career in writing and talking about sports, but it's a hobby and you can't rely on it. Life moves on, but I'd still be able to fall back and still take the 2 3 hours I have to deal with the numbnuts below me, and talk about Railcats baseball is ultimately what it all comes out to be. And when you go to a Railcats game, it's about the family aspect of it, and I think there's more people that need to know about it.
I see there's actually three key factors to your success, and I'd like to go through each one. The first one is obviously consistency. So you guys are currently listing as 315 videos. So how do you manage to stay so consistent in that production?
Luckily, with my work schedule that recently changed in the off season. Typically, we come out at 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30 is a good time to uh, record the podcast. And then Monday gives me a day to kind of maybe do it. But a lot of times I've been either off on Tuesdays or closing on Tuesdays. So I'll just wake up and I'll just edit the podcast and I have it out by noon.
Wow.
It also helps with it falling in line that every Monday, mostly, the American Association isn't playing, so there's not a game
Right.
to go on. So it's easier to kind of get those out. And having a flexible partner kind of helps in that aspect.
Another key success that I've noted is versatility. So you've posted many different formats. You started out as really just kind of a talking head, and
Hmm.
then you also posted highlight reels, and you did something called Quick Minute, and then obviously interviews. So tell me about the evolution of your channel.
It kind of started as, all right, let me get the feel for it, see if actually people are paying attention to this stuff before I even go into anything else. And then, like I said, it was a lot of, okay, I got my life figured out a little bit. I know how much time I have to work with from here to here. And then at the time, it was one of those, I really enjoyed what Carter Deal would do. So I was like, maybe there might be a chance if I start practicing some of this stuff that I might be able to apply for it and see if I could do something with it. And it never came to fruition, but I also like the background portion of it. I've produced a handful of football games, basketball games,
Okay.
hockey games, stuff like that. So I've done the production side of things. So
Yeah.
just cutting and editing like clips and stuff is just it's like a soothing feature for me. So I kind of wanted to dabble in that, but it's baseball season is so hard to keep up track with, especially if
Right.
you're working 40, 50 hours at a full-time job that you get home and you're like, okay, I got to do this, this, and this. And it takes, it may be 30 seconds, but you know as well, it's probably going to take you about 4 or 5 hours to edit together and get it
Yep.
out. So there's a lot of behind the scenes that being a single person doing it, it's kind of hard to get a lot of the versatility portion out. That's why we've
Right.
really gone back to shrinking it down to, all right, once a week, we'll get a podcast out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, but again, I had no idea that you had that training or schooling behind you at all, so that's
Hmm.
obviously that's how that helps you for sure. And then now let's get Chuck involved here.
Yeah.
The other
All right.
third key
Oh,
to your success. Sorry, wake
sleeping,
up, Chuck.
sleeping. Ugh.
So the third key to your success that I see is personality. So you have recently joined forces with Chuck. And how does that affect the direction of your podcast now? And Chuck, if you want to jump in, that'd be awesome.
I had talked to Kyle a couple of times. Well, actually, just about every game we would go
Mhm.
to, Kyle would
Mhm.
be down the aisle from me. He would come over, shake my hand. We would talk some baseball. As I was talking to him, he's like, I don't know where this podcast is going. I really need to take it, to another level if I can, or figure something out. And I said, I think that people just want to hear the same nonsense that we talk about while we're just sitting there talking. And so, why don't we give it a shot?
Yeah.
And, if I can help you in any way, I will. And he says, you know what? Yeah, I'll have you be a guest on. So we'll try it out. And we just sat there and talked. And that's all we do now.
Yeah.
We try not to
Mhm.
talk very much during the week. And then we'll start off with, hey, here's the rundown of some things and let's talk and then
Mhm.
record. And we just start talking.
Yeah, I love it. It works. I mean, it like you said, conversationally, it's awesome. That's why a lot of sports talk radio is usually two guys, right?
Mhm.
It's much easier and more relatable when you have the two. And obviously, you two guys are know so much about the team. So I'm a big fan of your show and both of you guys. So
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
kudos.
we do appreciate that.
What are some of the greatest challenges and rewards working on your podcast?
The challenge is, I always ask Kyle, what if we got this person? Or what if we did this? In his mind, would it be better than what we did before? And he's like, that'll never happen. And then all of a sudden we get Joe on the podcast, right?
Right. The owner, Joe Eng, is that who
Mhm.
you're
Yep.
referring to? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That
And
was a great
so
episode, by the way. Great interview.
he's like, wow, I can't believe we got that's pretty cool that we got the owner on. And then something else comes up, and I'm like, hey, what if we got the original GM, the guy who helped build the steel yard, Roger Wexelberg, and he's like, well, that would be awesome, and then all of a sudden we get him, and it's like we're trying to one up each time
Yeah,
just to make it that much more exciting.
sure.
Uh, because, we go from just paying attention to the day to days to getting RailCats history, to getting, the behind the scenes of ownership,
Hmm.
um, and what's ownership thinking when it comes to certain things. And to me, that's like the enjoyment or the fulfillment is that we get to share stuff with fans that they won't get to see when they just go to a baseball game.
Right. Well, here's another question for both of you again. And you kind of touched on it, Chuck, too, but what would you like to work on to bring your podcast to the next level? Have you guys been brainstorming anything or had something in the back of your head? Like you said, hey, what if we did this? What if we did this? Is there anything maybe you can reveal if there's something in the works or pie in the sky? What would be the next level for you guys?
Oh,
Uh, there was an idea. Chuck, you're the one that kind of came up with the idea, so I'll let you elaborate on that one.
we talked about doing a RailCats documentary, where we talked
Oh,
about the how it
wow.
started, how it came about. Our interview with Roger was kind of a key piece to that.
Okay.
Knowing that we've got people like Renee, we've got Jason, people that have been there since almost the beginning or at the beginning,
Hmm.
still available. The newspaper articles and stuff like that that had been done were essentially lost, but
Oh,
Roger had a bunch of them. So, keeping that kind of stuff, and being able to go back and kind of just talk about all that stuff, get it
hmm.
on film in some way to be able to make sure that it doesn't stay lost.
Right.
Uh, that kind of thing was something that we were, and it's still a possibility.
Hmm.
It's just something that's not necessarily, are we going to jump on it right now? So yeah, that was a big thing. The other big thing is, I mean, we do a lot of talking about Railcats, but I'm gonna go ahead and tease it. Um, we have the person with the RailCats right now that has unbelievable resources and connectivity to the city of Gary, outside of the city of Gary, and a woman that I just want to sit down and just pick her brain and just discuss tons of stuff with that I'm really excited about, and that's Renee.
What is Renee's title with the team? What does she do?
What is her title?
She's a marketing consultant, the head marketing consultant.
Okay.
She contact with President of the United States. Contact when he did dealings with Gary, Indiana.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
contacts with the Jackson family. Lucy said she's been working with five mayors, the last five mayors of Gary. So just all of that, to me, outside of not necessarily the RailCats, but just the fact that we've got somebody that's had their hands in so many different things in the city of Gary, to me,
Right.
is fascinating.
Oh
And
man.
I'm really looking forward to that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, hopefully you can get her on your show. Oh my goodness. And wow, that's amazing. And I love the idea of that documentary, Joe. I hope you guys don't lose sight of that. That sounds like a fantastic idea.
The American Association had a short video about Lamar and the
Hmm.
history of Lamar. Yeah, I think that's kind of what got us thinking about documentary
Hmm.
style was,
Yeah.
hey, here's a brief history of Lamar, but why don't we have like a decent history of the steel yard or of
Yeah.
the Railcats?
Yeah,
Um,
the Railcats have been around for 30 something years.
20, we're at 23 years now.
Yeah,
Wow.
23 years now. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, yeah, it's time. It's time for some history on that. That's for sure.
I figure by the time that the child is 2 years old, he'll be begging for some peace and quiet time. And so at 25 years, we do a history recap of the Railcats. That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, see, the other part is people don't see behind the scenes is Chuck just flips his laptop on and starts to talk, and I'm the one going, all right, what can I edit today?
Yep. Ryan is the one that can do all
What
Yes,
that.
is
you're
it?
right,
What's the
Ryan.
saying is how do you make lemonade out of lemons, right?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. That's
Oh.
another thing is we always mention Ryan. Um,
Ryan, you're not included on this.
right. So when me and Kyle first started talking, he says people don't know my name; they just call me the podcast guy or something to that. That's funny that you say that because I have you on my phone and I showed him and it said Ryan podcast guy, and he goes, "Who's Ryan?" And I said, "Why does it say Ryan? I knew your name was four letters. I just."
So yes, we have an imaginary producer named Ryan that gets locked in a kennel.
That's awesome.
Yep. So anytime I try to get him to do something stupid that his wife isn't going to like, we always say, "Well,
Yeah.
Ryan would do that. Ryan would be
Yes.
okay with that." And his wife says, "You're right. Ryan would do that."
Oh, I love it.
So,
Well, let's continue having some fun. Let's go on a cowhide joyride, right? I
oh
love
boy.
Yes,
that.
I love that saying too. That's one of those ones that's original and that was a
And
good one
who
that you
made
told me.
that's your current broadcaster? Is that his?
Yeah, Andrew Mild. Yep.
Andrew Mile, right. Yeah, I love that. It's a cowhide joyride. Well, let's talk about the Railcats as a team for a bit. For both of you, which team do you feel is the Railcats' greatest rival?
Oh boy.
Ooh, the hard part of it is that the team really hasn't been successful in since really 2018. So like they've kind of been the punching bag of most of the league in general. If it's for me, I'm more of the what's in the area. So naturally, it's the dogs to me. Like it's
Okay.
just you're right there.
Sioux City, we've had 3 years in a row where we've cleared the benches. Last year we cleared them
Okay.
twice.
Wow.
And sure enough, every year since then, except for this year, we've managed to get into fights. But with Railcats these past 4 years, we can play with some of the best teams,
Hmm.
stick with it, and even spoil.
Yeah.
But we can't seem to get out of our own way and beat these teams that we should be beating. I don't really feel like there is a rival.
Okay.
It's if there's any team that we really just struggle with, it's our own.
I get it. I get it. Let's talk about the Rowdy RailCats Cowbell Crew. Can you guys give a shout out to any of the crew members there? I know they are really supportive fans. There are so many in that group.
So, Paulie, he told me, I said, where'd you come up with the name? They bought a suite and they didn't have a name or anything, but for every suite, they have to have a name.
Oh,
So he came up with the Rowdy RailCat
yeah.
Cowbell Crew. So like it wasn't necessarily like he's the ringleader. He just told me that they all kind of came together, and he's just the one that kind of came
Yeah.
up with the name because they needed it for the suite. Paulie, Jim, Keith is newer to it.
Okay.
There's a whole slews band of them. It's hard to name them all.
Yeah, but you can't miss them, guys. I've been to a couple
Yes,
games out there, and they are just a hoot to hang with. And
They travel all over the place.
yes.
yes, yeah, I just saw them. They
They
went to the All-Star game.
when they went to Cleburne, they got like first class treatment from Cleburne
Wow.
going down there, and like I believe it was yesterday at the game, I saw Paulie and he's wearing his Explorers jersey, and I just shook my head at him.
Yeah,
You know,
he does it. He comes to Impact Field and he'll wear whoever we're playing. He'll always wear
right?
the opponent's jersey.
Yeah,
Sometimes he'll wear a dog's jersey, but yeah, he's got them all.
Yes.
I just I sit there and shake my head because I like, come on, dude, who are you a fan of?
Yeah. The other story is when my very first game at the Seal Yard, I came out through the gate out in right field there, and the first person I met was Paulie, and he even like approached me, hey, because I had my flag, and he had this Railcast jersey, but then he lifts it up and he's got the dog's jersey under his Railcast jersey. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the heck?
always a real treat.
Throwing all that shade toward Paulie, and you're the one that ended up rooting against the RailCats when you first started going to the game. So I don't want to hear it out of your
I
mouth.
learned my lesson. It's called changing, right?
Oh my God. We're getting in the middle of something here, Finn. Sorry.
No. Paulie's great. I love the fact that not very many teams have guys that are so excited about their team
Mhm.
Yeah.
or about the association as a whole.
Yep.
And Paulie and them are definitely a group that just there's a lot of things they appreciate about the league. It's amazing that you can find dedicated fans like that.
Big shout out, big ups to the Rowdy RailCats Cowbell Crew for sure.
I'll tell you a couple of things that I really love about playing Chicago. Is that first of all, I love Stu. Stu is a guy that, man, just he's just a great guy.
He is. He's a cool guy.
I loved having Butch as a manager. I thought that was really cool a couple of years ago, and interacting with him, and that. So you guys have had like some really good managers,
Yeah.
really good leadership, and then you guys have had some really good personality players.
Mhm.
Uh, uh, One of those guys, Brantley Bell, just kind of he's one of those guys that you just can't help but want him to succeed, just not against your team. Um, and Teeter,
Mhm.
one of those guys that you just want to succeed, just not against your team, right? And so you guys have quite a handful of those guys, and it's like, okay, these guys are pretty stacked. So uh, I'm not surprised that you guys aren't sitting up there at the top on a regular basis.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't know what it is, but you guys seem to find some really good talent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know what it is either. And there's a lot of people involved. It's more than just the managers. We got an interview coming up later this year, kids, with Owen Reith, who's the third base coach, and Stu, both of them together. And Owen apparently has quite a Rolodex. So that was part of our interview. Was they said Owen knows a guy who knows a guy. So
That is a
Nice.
big thing that
yeah.
I think Chuck and I have both learned this year. The league is how much connections have to be made in order to build a baseball team in general. And if you don't have those connections, it could set you up for failure.
Right. I had no idea, and you're exactly right. The way you put it perfectly. It's who you know. It
Mhm.
not like everything. Who you know, man. It's crazy. All right, guys. Well, let's take a little bit of fun and play the Cats GM for a day. So you guys are now the GM of the RailCats for one day. Well, first of all, let me ask you this: what is the signature food item at the steel yard? Is there one?
Ben's pretzels.
Ben's pretzels. No. Which you know what? Let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, hey, the Chicago Dogs, they get talent, and they've got their Chicago dog.
Mhm.
And the only thing that we had going for us was Ben's pretzels. If you go on the association website and you look at our team, it shows that's the fan food or whatever it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
And then you guys go and copy that. And I'm just like, come on, man. Do you really have to try to take what's best from other teams and just run with it now? So that's just a big league move there. I really don't appreciate that coming from you guys.
Sorry.
So let's throw that out there. But now we have pierogies. So if you
Yes.
guys think
Oh.
you're going to see pierogies from us, then have at it because you're going to suck at it. All right.
I would say there's one major one and two that are kind of like behind the scenes that I think they should promote a little bit more, but they don't.
Okay.
The pierogies I think is the number one like hot topic. Like I think that Pierogi Wednesdays, pierogies a region thing. Whiting has the pierogi fest every year, so you have
Wow.
that. But you also have the pulled pork, the pulled chicken, the brisket sandwiches
Oh.
that we ended up finding out last year that we had no idea about, but they've had it on the menu for like 2 years before
What?
that.
Oh my
So
God.
You can only get it at the bar. It's on the board, but
it's on the
because
board.
the bar, we always skip it because I don't drink. So one time I'm walking by and I look over and I'm like, pulled pork sandwich. And then I'm like, what the heck? And
Oh
so
my
I
gosh.
uh I asked about it. They said, oh, we're all out. And I'm like, okay.
Oh.
So then I asked Kyle, did you know that we have pulled pork? He's like, no. And then I asked Paul, he's like, no. And like nobody knows about everybody that comes
Crazy.
to the games on a regular basis has no idea that
Oh
we have pulled
no.
pork and barbecue chicken sandwiches and Italian sausage too.
Yep.
What? Oh
And
my God.
yeah, it's limited. They just bring out like 2 trays of each or something like that.
No.
And they sell out just about every game.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's really good.
Yeah.
And so anytime I don't have a wristband where I get the all you can eat hot dogs and stuff, and I'm going to spend some money, that's where I spend my money.
All right.
Is
Well, RailCats fans, get out
there
there and get your pulled pork and what was it? The sausage?
Sausage,
sausage and
chicken.
pulled chicken? Yeah,
Yeah.
All
barbecue
right.
chicken.
Oh,
18th Street Brewery. That's the
Yeah,
18th Street
all
Brewery
right.
bar is where it's at.
Go listen to these two. Go do it.
yeah, that's the place to get the food.
All right. Well, let's keep with the food vein. What food or drink items would you like to add to the menu if you could, if you were the GM for a day?
Oh,
So they recently just had a pulled pork pierogi cup with like six pierogies with pulled pork on top.
Oh,
That was
sounds fun.
probably the best food item I've ever had there.
Wow.
So, I would keep that round year
Okay.
round. The inner me, little fat inner me, really likes ice cream and milkshakes.
Mm.
So, having ice cream, mostly the milkshakes, I would definitely implement
All right.
milkshakes.
you know what? The reason why we had the brisket pierogies was because we were facing Kansas City. It was a special thing just for when Kansas City was in town.
Okay.
I think that it would be great to have a specialty food with
Oh, yeah.
whoever's in town. I
Oh,
think that's what I would run with. Is hey, here's your specialty food for the 3 game series.
yeah.
Give it a shot. That kind of helps people like me that goes to a bunch of games.
Hmm.
That hey, I don't have to sit there and try the same thing over and over
Yeah.
again.
I love
Um,
that idea. Wow.
Mhm.
And then when the gold eyes come in, you get poutine or something.
when Chicago dogs come into town, we give free ketchup, or something like that.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't. I guess it would just be a Chicago dog with ketchup on top. I don't really know what an anti-dog would be. That's a good one.
You guys get one at bat. What is your walk-up song?
It's not from Black Eyed Peas, but it's Pump It Up from Endor. So Chuck would know it because they played it a whole bunch last year at the Steelyard after they scored every run.
Okay.
It's starting to kind of pick up a little bit, but I would kind of go along the lines of like something like that, or like something like
Something.
really stupid and goofy. I
Okay. No worries.
For me, it's not necessarily the walk up. What I would do is I would change a bunch of our sounds that we make, a bunch of the music that we make.
Okay.
I've tried to get them to do that, where it's more of a uh, kind of edging the pitcher a little bit, kind of going into the pitcher when he walks somebody, that kind of a thing. Really
Yeah.
working on those sound bites that just like, okay, this pitcher's really going to start getting pissed at me.
Right.
And that kind of a thing, that's what I would be
I
changing.
love it. A little bit of intimidation. I love it. All right, guys. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, how do you like your hot dog?
Hmm.
Ooh, a
I
lot of silence there. Wow.
Most of the time, if I'm going to a ballpark and I'm waiting in line for my hot dog, typically I want to go see the action, so I don't even worry about putting condiments on it. So I just go with the
Okay.
plain. When I was younger, I hated mustard, so it was ketchup all the way. Now I've gotten a little bit older, a little bit more sophisticated. I will choose not to put ketchup on my hot dog if it's the Chicago dog. But see, the thing is, if it's a barbecue, I you got to put the ketchup in the hot dog. It
Okay.
just
I think
tastes
it
like
all
barbecue.
it all
You
depends.
overload with the relish and everything. Like you're just talking to just give me a dog, it just falls over.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how I have my hot dog, chili cheese dog.
Well,
Ooh.
yes, that's from
Wow.
Portillo's. Ooh.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
I go with the chili cheese dog.
Okay, guys. Well, this has been awesome. We're gonna wrap it up here, though. Our next section is called the final pitch. So,
Ooh,
do you,
it's not
well,
the final out. All right,
what, what was it?
not the final out,
No,
or
not the final
what do
out.
we
Just
call it,
the
Kyle?
Yeah, it's a
final.
final, all right? Because I got ripped off because it said final thought, and there was like, someone else already has that, and it's from a whole different podcast that
Oh
makes a
no.
lot more money than I do, and talk about hockey, so it's completely different.
Oh, somebody told you you can't do that?
No one told me I couldn't. Someone pointed it out, and it was like, oh, someone from it was this week in the association. They had the final thought, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
So I said, made
All
it the
right,
final out.
There you go.
last pitch though. We're ready for this
All right. Final pitch. Do you have any special message for anyone who has not yet come out to see a RailCats game?
one. Ooh,
I think my special message would be if you're from the area that you're missing the gem in Gary. The family atmosphere there. You are completely safe there. You got the free parking, but it's the hospitality from the players to the front office to the staff that's there to even the fans that are there in general. Like it could be your first time there, and you could feel like you've gone to 20 years of being there. Everyone is so hospitable there that uh it's a different atmosphere than what you would be going to a professional environment. Granted, I've only been to one other American Association ballpark, and that would be Kane County.
Okay.
But that atmosphere was so much different than being at the Steel Yard. Being there was like you had a bunch of people just talking the entire time, and then at the Steel Yard, it was like everyone's kind of focusing the game a little bit, but like everyone's there hanging out like they've known each other for years and years and years.
I would say to somebody that hasn't been to a RailCats game, if you see me or Kyle out in the parking lot, we're collecting the $3 that it costs to park. And so make sure that you have cash. We don't take credit cards or anything. And just be feel free to give us the $3 for some wonderful parking, not in a parking garage, off to the side of a building somewhere. Uh, uh, so, uh, joking aside, the stadium is a great place to go. I actually met a woman, or I've known this woman for a while. She works at one of the stores in Maryville, and she said I had my RailCats jersey on, and she goes, I'm taking my grandkids to a RailCats game, and it really is just the gem of us, the hidden gem in the city.
Mhm.
It feels like there's just not there many people that know about it, and it is, and she went on the same things that Kyle just said. unbelievably safe. It's a very friendly atmosphere. All of these different things that you don't have to be somebody that shows up to every game to realize those things. And so that was kind of a reminder to me that, hey, it is that hidden gem in the city that you can always go to for some solid entertainment.
Yeah. And I'm going to triple down on that. I've been there several times and I absolutely love it. It's a beautiful park. The food is great. The people are great. The atmosphere is so much fun. Please, please, please check it out. It's if you can go, it's definitely worth it. Worth it for sure.
I want to say something about your guys. When we go to Chicago, one of the big reasons why I enjoy going to these other stadiums is you've got a lot of really good fans that show up to your games,
Mhm.
and just that will just heckle back and forth respectfully, right? But really just have fun, and just the dedication that your guys have. Pat being one of them. There's this other guy that sits in the front row there. I hope he's still there because when I go to a game, I want to see him again.
Okay.
Um,
Probably Ken. I know he's got a front row seat out there.
there's a family of four that sit there,
The Beaties, yep.
and I invited them to. They came to a RailCats game last year, and all that. You've got a handful of guys that are just dedicated, and it's great to see these guys show up on a regular basis. It's not. I don't see that much like at Kane County. I can go there and I don't know that I've necessarily seen the same people over and over again.
Okay.
But with Chicago, it's the same. It's like you guys could pack the house, but you also have people that are there every game on a Wednesday, on a Thursday. When you don't have that packed house, these same people are showing up and enjoying the game. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really is like you said, it's family and it's the pretty rabid fan base and that's why I love going there also. It's walking around and I miss half the game because I'm just yakking it up with all my friends. Well, guys, I really would love to keep talking and talking, but I can't thank you enough for joining me today. Remind fans again how they can follow your podcast and connect with you.
It'll just all be RailCats Talk on all social media platforms, YouTube. Have my own website that you can follow some of that, but that's just railcatstalk.com
Okay.
on that front. So it's just
There was
RailCats Talk.
there was a lot of people that had RailCats Talk already used. We had to purchase it from them because it's a very
No.
common, very famous
Okay. I
name
got
there.
it.
So it was a really hard to pull that together to have the same thing all the way across all platforms. So hey, props to Ryan for getting that done from his cage.
And you wonder why our episodes are an hour and a half long because of this guy below me.
He had me for a couple seconds, like, oh, really? And then, folks, remember to follow the Fool. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So look for it, and then make sure you put a subscribe and a like and all the touch all the fun buttons here. And guys, I love this. I really don't want it to end, but I can't wait to see you guys. Hopefully, I'll get to see you when we have this series coming up. And Kyle, if you're not, I certainly understand because you got a lot more important things coming up too. So
Unacceptable.
yeah,
Unacceptable.
We
I
know
wish
it's
you nothing but
unacceptable.
I wish you nothing but happiness with that for sure. Kyle, Chuck, RailCats Talk podcast. Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully, I'll see you soon.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we appreciate you having us on. It was a good fun time. I'm Kyle.
I'm Chuck.
And we're the RailCats Talk podcast, and we follow
Oh, the Fool.